should be done with the Skywalker saga.
Does Lord of the Rings have to be done?
It's not done. They're still coming out. The Hunt for Gollum, it's coming back out. Gandalf is coming back. But Star Wars is completely different because you want the Skywalker saga to be done. Now I want my kids to enjoy something else that's not the Skywalker saga.
And here we go.
You are now listening to Two Nerds and a Universe.
Welcome back to the pod. I'm Alex.
I'm Brandon.
And this is Two Nerds and a Universe, where we do in-depth discussion of all things nerdy and give you opinions nobody asked for.
Today we're going into the Toy Story universe, but before we dive into that, real quick, here's a message from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Leal Insurance. Guessing your auto, home, and business coverage is not a strategy. Get reliable coverage, clear guidance, and real support at lealinsurance.com. And now, back to the nerdiness. And welcome back. All right, but before we get into that, Alex, did you have something to say?
Yes, I did. All right. You ready, Blinker?
Enlighten us.
Let's see this. So last episode, it was a good episode too. Last episode that we talked about Disclosure Day, how the movie is predicated on that affecting your faith, whether they exist, whether they don't exist. I know somebody in the military that reached out to me. I don't know if you're thinking of him, the first person that comes to your mind. It's not him. So somebody, no.
Oh, okay.
So somebody reached out to me that I knew in the military and was like, "Hey, watched your video. I know you've been telling me to watch a couple of your videos. So I saw this. He said he saw Disclosure Day. He liked it. So he reached out to me. Was like, hey, I saw y'all did an episode on it. So I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, cool, dude. Like, what did you think? I know we're not the best podcast out there, but I'm like, hey, what did you think? Constructive feedback. And he had mentioned something, and I know he's not a a-hole, right? Like he means well. He had told me, he was like, man, I really felt like I couldn't relate or even jump in that conversation because your conversation of aliens, whether they exist or don't exist, is completely predicated on faith and on the Bible. And he was like, it's nothing like where you'll hear in an educated classroom than how we chose to talk about it. And I was like, oh, dude, no, I mean, hey, if that's how you felt, like, then, that's how you felt. And I was like, but honestly, man, if you've been watching this podcast from the very beginning, it's been very clear that my faith means a lot to me. Brandon's faith means a lot to him.
It's my whole identity.
We love all the nerd stuff that we talk about, but like the most important thing to me, to my family, is God. It's always going to be rooted in God. If that upsets people, I'm not really going to apologize. You definitely, if it makes you uncomfortable, there's so many other podcasts that you can listen to. But I don't think if ever God granted me a platform, and hey, if this platform only 20, 30 people watch it, doesn't bother me. We never went into this, and obviously you could speak for yourself too. We never went into this hoping that we're going to make millions off of this.
Yeah,
and
become the next Curry Barker or something.
Yeah, and be all these cool podcasts. And that's cool if it happens, but if not, this was just a way for us to do what we usually do, but on a platform that maybe other people can join in and comment, and we learn other people that we never knew, and we could all talk about stuff. Our Star Wars post went huge, and of course there's some people on there that take it a little too far, but it's just people that you never knew, and y'all are talking about stuff that is so meaningful to you, like Star Wars, right? Dune. I love Dune. I love Star Wars, Marvel, DC. Brandon loves all those same things. And it's like at work, when I'm at work, I might not even know the person next to me or the person I'm going to go meet. But they might like Star Wars. They might like Lord of the Rings. They might like anything that anime. There's a way for us to start talking, to create a connection. And all this is what I'm trying to say is all this is a way of bringing us together. But the focal point, if I use my platform for anything, is I'm going to make it very clear that God is a big part of my life. Obviously, Brandon can speak for himself, but it's a big part of my family's life. And at any point, at any platform I'm given, I'm going to use that platform to spread God's love. And I'm never going to stay quiet about that. And I think I mentioned to Brandon one time, hey, maybe we should do a faith-based episode. And do you remember what you said to me? It was a while back, so I know I'm put you on the spot. But do you remember what you said?
I think I did bring up the fact that some people, we might lose a couple people with that,
And what did you say after that?
but I mean, it's whatever.
I think you had said something along the lines of, if my faith. Oh man, it was good. You cooked with it, man. You cooked with it. But dude, I'm trying to remember what you said. It was really good. But you're basically saying like, if I have to be on a platform and not speak about God, then I don't want the platform.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Something along the lines of that. It was a lot better.
If that's a stipulation of our success, I'd rather just not be successful.
Yeah, you said if our success means it's without God, then I don't want success. So that's kind of where our mindset is. And to the person that reached out to me, I had told him, I was like, man, I'm sorry that you feel that way, because he said that sometimes he feels like Christianity and religion makes him feel like he's separated from other people because of how people treat him. So this whole thing, like what we do, right? It creates unity, creates relationships, but it's really predicated on unifying the public and us nerding out on anime and Marvel, Star Wars, all this stuff that we like. We all nerd on it together. So the idea that Christianity, and this really wasn't planned today. We're going to talk about Star Wars, but I don't think Brandon would be upset. Oh, sorry. Toy Story, but I don't think Brandon would be upset if I had to just say this real quick.
No, absolutely not.
But Christianity should never be. I can't speak on other religions respectfully. I don't know too much about other religions. I know about Christianity. And Christians should never make you feel like you are not welcome because your walk doesn't look like their walk. That's not God. That's not kingdom. That's man trying to give his interpretation of what the kingdom looks like, and that's rooted in sin. So I apologize to you, dude, if you feel like you can't enjoy this podcast because we mention God and it reminds you of your family that pushes you away because you don't walk like they walk, or you don't talk like they talk, or you don't have perfect attendance in church, or you don't go to all the Bible studies, or you don't go to the prayer groups or anything like that. Hey, if some people watch this and get a little upset or think that I'm if I'm
Preachy.
well, preachy, but like if I'm saying stuff that's incorrect and stuff, I'm just speaking from the heart. There's no attendance to get you in heaven. Nowhere does it say
There's not a checklist.
there's no checklist. For other Christians that make you feel like that, they're wrong. That's not what kingdom looks like. That's not what the kingdom mindset looks like. That's not what Jesus looked like. Everybody throws it out and people just kind of ignore it. But Jesus didn't only walk with Christians. He was around sinners. He would wash your feet. There's not very many Christians that would be willing to pay for a meal for someone that doesn't believe in God. And Jesus is what God is supposed to look like, would wash your feet and tell you it's okay. You know what I mean? That's what the kingdom looks like. That's not, and it's unfortunate that that's not what it looks like on earth, because we are, at our core, very sinful human beings that need God. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of. What I like about this platform is the fact that there can be a blending of cinema, of storytelling, and your faith. I mean, the biggest connection between the two, in my opinion, has got to be Lord of the Rings. Just the whole story was created by Tolkien. Tolkien, and he was a big time Catholic, and he created Lord of the Rings as a metaphor to Christ. So I don't know. I mean, just like I find that storytelling, that little bonding that I can have with other people it's always been a good segue into being able to talk to people about God and Christ.
And that's what kind of sparked our friendship. Is
Absolutely.
I met Brandon in the military, and there is where I saw him reading a Bible. So that was like a way for me to interact with him. And 8 years later, here we are.
Yeah, but just two nerds in a universe.
So
talking.
Yeah. So anyways, if we're going to use our platform for anything, of course, we're going to talk about all this stuff that we love and that unify us. But and like I said, Brandon, speak for yourself. But I will always use it to spread God's love, to spread what the kingdom looks like. I'm not perfect. My wife knows I'm not perfect. She'll be the first to tell anybody I'm not perfect. I don't want to come off as me trying to be self-righteous
Holier
or
than
anything
thou.
like that. I don't have perfect attendance at church. I unfortunately sometimes cuss. Oh my God. There's things here I say God by accident sometimes. There's things that I do wrong, but every day I try to be a better person. I try to be a better person tomorrow than I was today. That's what I actively try to do. And I try to teach my kids what the kingdom looks like, what Jesus looks like, and it's never division. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry if your family makes you feel like that. I'm sorry if your church makes you feel like you're not welcome or you have to walk like they walk or talk like they talk in order to be accepted into their congregation. That's wrong. That's completely wrong. I know I completely blindsided Brandon because he had no idea this is what we were going to get into. But he was telling me that, and I felt so bad. And I was like, man, I'm sorry that we love to use this to get away from all that stuff. But in a way, you feel like this reminds you of things that you actively want to get away from. You know what I mean? And he just said he feels like sometimes Christianity makes him feel like he's not welcome at the table. And that's the complete opposite of what that should look like.
You're always welcome at the table.
Yeah, absolutely. God is that is what it looks like to feel love, to feel acceptance, to be welcomed as you are. Come as you are, not, oh, I got to look like this. Like I said, I got to dress a certain way. You don't. Come as you are. And at the end of the day, hey, their actions and the way that they choose to spread the kingdom, they'll have to answer that to God and God alone at the end. That's got nothing to do with me. That's got nothing to do with Brandon. That's got nothing to do with you. So if you want to learn about God and learn about Christianity, don't look at man and think that's what it looks like, because that's not what it looks like. What it looks like is Jesus, and that's what the Bible tells us is what it's supposed to look like. Because if you're gonna dictate Christianity off of a man's gonna fail you every time.
Every time.
And
Look
that's
at
what
David.
that's what so many people say. Oh, I don't go to this church anymore because man, this pastor did this or this, and it's like that's not at all. You don't go to church to I want to hear from my pastor because that's what the kingdom looks like. Their pastors aren't perfect either. I've heard people even say that their pastors don't talk about their mistakes or anything because they're supposed to be seen as someone you look up to. I could still look up to somebody even though they're not perfect. You know what I mean? I look up to a lot.
Look at all the movies that we watch. All these heroes that fail. You know, I mean,
They're not perfect. You still look up to them.
Still look up to them.
He knows it to this day. But if anybody that knows my uncle, my Uncle Adam, love you, dude. I'm not trying to talk mess. But, like, you saw him when he was maybe, 15, 16, all the way up until, I don't know, 25, maybe even 30. You would think, like, yeah, that dude's furthest from God. Yeah, there's no way. And then you see him years later, and you're like, this is not even the same person. But, like, that's what God can do in your life. He can transform you to become someone completely new and still someone willing to let the person that's tatted from head to toe come into the church, despite whatever you look like. You know what I mean? So I know we got a little off topic, but like this is something that means a lot to me more than all this. And who knows? You know what? Maybe my kids grow up one day and see this, and hey, you know what? Like it makes them proud knowing that their dad is real rooted in this, and it means something. So for anybody that comes to our podcast and listens to us talk, if you take away anything, take away all this unifies us, but so does God, and so does Christianity, and man is going to fail you every time. So just trust in God, read the Bible, study whatever you, not like whatever you want, obviously study like actual documents of what Jesus did and who Jesus is, because that is the best example of what it is to be a Christian and to be accepting, and that's unfortunately probably 99% of Christians don't look like that. 99% of Christians are going to be the ones that are self-righteous and think that they're better than him because I go to church and he goes drinking on the weekends and he goes clubbing on the weekends. But it's kind of worse because I know God, yet I'm choosing to be judgmental And maybe this person that hasn't had that moment where he's actually allowed Jesus in his life, it just, to me, it's like, man, you know right from wrong. It's like a kid. Like, once you get to a certain age, you know better. Of course, my 5-year-old, yeah, they don't know better compared to my 13-year-old. I don't have a 13-year-old, but when I do, the 13-year-old knows right from wrong. 14-year-old, right? You're a teenager, you know right from wrong. My 5-year-old doesn't. It's I expect more from you. So that's kind of how I see when it comes to Christians and it comes to God. You've accepted him into your life, so you know right from wrong. He's depending on you to plant the seed for somebody else. So stop trying to avoid contact from people that don't look like you. Stop trying to separate yourself from everybody that doesn't look like you. Start actually going out there and spreading the kingdom. I can tell an army recruiter to F off 12 times, and the 13th time, he'll still be right there. That's what a kingdom, that's what, obviously I'm not saying that that's God or anything like that, but that's what it should look like. A sinner, I'm a sinner, somebody that I'm trying to actively get into the church or even learn about God can tell me F off 12 times. Oh, I'm not about that. We've had people in the military that would actively joke about Jesus to us, would sexualize Jesus. And it's like, you know what?
And then I'll get a Snapchat text from him about them being baptized, and it's like, man, you were right. Like, well,
and it's like,
awesome,
dude,
bro.
that's what it looks like. What if, how many times have you heard people say, oh, I don't even make an effort with that guy. He's told me he's going to come to church so many times. And, oh man, he says, I'll be there Sunday, and he's not there Sunday. Like, I'm over it. It's like, what if God did that to you? Like, Jesus has never done that to you. That's not what it looks like at all. So again, we went a little off topic, but it's kind of on topic because it is the topic to always talk about. But for anybody that's listening and anybody that was maybe wronged by somebody that is a Christian and that is in the church, that makes you feel you're not accepted, you're always accepted. Come as you are. There's no picture perfect Christian. Any Christian that tells you he's perfect is completely wrong. I do not think that there's anybody in this world that can completely eradicate sin from their life. I know there's people that genuinely do believe that. I don't believe that, because if I choose to believe that, then why did Jesus have to die then? Yeah. Then it just completely means he didn't have to die for you. We could eradicate, and that I can't believe that. I believe that Jesus died because we can't get to heaven, and we can't do that without him. So if you want to say a couple things, I know I went a little off track, but just know that everybody's welcome. If you're ever around me, if you're ever around Brandon, any of our brothers, they see it like us, any of our family, I speak for my family, my parents, my grandparents. We're not all perfect, but everybody's welcome at the table, regardless of who you are. And it's unfortunate that some people have to turn away from that because they think that the kingdom looks like this Christian, and because he chooses to not accept you, then maybe God's not going to accept me.
Yeah, the classic. I love movies. I love TV shows. I love these things and I love the fact that we can bond over them. But like I said, I mean, my faith is like the cornerstone of my whole being, and that it extends to even this. Some people may call it like secular or something like that or whatever. But I mean, for crying out loud, I would not be a Christian today if it wasn't for an Adam Lambert song that popped up on the radio on my way to school one time. Like, what do you want from me? Has nothing to do with God. I'm pretty sure the whole song is about like a guy and his bad relationship with his girl or something like that. Nothing to do with God. If God can use that to, turn my head and turn my heart towards God, then, I mean, goodness gracious, he can use literally anything. Billboards, you can use animals, birds, and you can use the right person, the right thing at the right time. And, movies like this, movies like any of these, it's literally just, even something as like dark as like horror movies and whatnot, it's literally good overcoming evil. That's the reason. You'll hear me say it all the time. I mean, I love happy endings. I love movies that have a happy ending. I don't like movies that where the bad guy wins. It almost always ruins it for me, and I feel it's definitely rooted in that fact that good should overcome evil, and it connects me to Jesus overcoming evil and saving us. So let's bond over these movies. All right. Let's see Jesus in them. Let's see the good in it, and let's see how we can apply that into our lives.
Yeah. And one thing my church says, and I love it, is they say always only love. Don't meet people with anger or with frustration, or you're just ready to give up on them. Always only love, because that's what Jesus did for you. He only chose to approach you with love. This whole baptism by fire, stop doing that, because it doesn't turn people towards the kingdom. It turns them away. And Jesus didn't baptize by fire. He baptized by love, washing your feet, telling you, come as you are, and I love you as you are. So if you're around people like that, if you're around church and it's like that, be the change. Kind of sounds corny, but be the change you wish to see. Challenge that mindset, because that's not God. And one day you might be able to save the next person that says, oh, I don't want anything to do with that because of how Christians are. Because that's not what the kingdom should look like. So we got a lot more today, but that's just something that I wanted to mention. And now we
Public service announcement over.
yeah, now we can kind of get into Pixar and Toy Story 5.
Toy Story 5, man. Did you was that on your bucket list? I mean, did you want that to happen after Toy Story? After Toy Story 3, I was done.
Yeah.
I was done. I was okay with it, right? They came out with Toy Story 4. I wanted to hate it. I wanted to hate Toy Story 4.
I didn't hate it.
But for crying out loud, Forky, the whole
Carry me.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I loved it. You know, seeing Bonnie as the new Andy. I mean, I was like, oh, you're not Andy. You know, we grew up with Andy. You know,
Nah, but Bonnie's cool.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I've noticed since the first trailer of Toy Story 5 came out. They're like, all right, so in order for Toy Story to be saved, they have to bring back Andy. I'm like,
Nah,
no, they don't.
I think Andy's chapter's done.
Is done. Don't bring him back. This isn't Star Wars. You don't have to,
bring
cash
Palpatine
in.
back.
There's nothing. There's no cash in that's necessary. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a perfect little send off. All right. So long, partner. Now they're Bonnie's. Bonnie's is a good. She's beautiful, man. I mean, just it's such a cute story. I see Avery every single time.
Yeah, and my daughter, and you see her innocence playing with the toys. We're saying that Toy Story 3 was a good ending. You're like, I don't need any more. But technically, you got Toy Story 4. You wanted to hate it, but you didn't hate it. There were some good parts. And at the end, or we're leaving Woody, and he's like, is Woody lost? And he's like, oh, Woody's not lost, not anymore. And you're like, I love it. Woody, he's back with her now. Now he has his purpose, whatever it is, with Bo Peep.
Bo Peep.
So it's great. But no, let's bring him back.
Yeah, what we're talking about with Toy Story 5?
That's with, obviously, Toy Story 5. If you've seen the trailer, you know Woody's back. So we'll get a little bit into that. But for first...
Yeah, did you see it coming? I mean, did you want it to happen?
Did I want...
Toy Story 5.
Did I want Toy Story 5 to happen? No. I didn't want Toy Story 4 to happen. I thought Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending that you could have done, and that would have arguably been a top 5 trilogy of all time. Cartoon or not. The way they ended Toy Story 3... You made us all tear up like we're going to watch our childhood burn, getting saved, getting back, and then being handed off to the next chapter, which was Bonnie. Loved it. Everything was perfect. Why touch it? But hey, it's an existing IP. It's like Fast and the Furious. I'm going to just make it because I know it's going to bring in money. And it's just like, you should stop. You should stop while you're ahead.
Yeah, so Toy Story 4 came out, and like everybody, I assume, or like not like everybody, because obviously it made a great deal of money, but like some people, I was like, oh, why? I hate this so much. Why even make it? Because like you said, it's a perfect trilogy. Why mess it up? Similar to what's that? Monkeys of the Apes, Planet of the Apes. They made a great trilogy. And they made the fourth one. It's like, why?
Yeah, Kingdom of the Planet Apes. It makes no sense.
Same with everything. After watching Toy Story 5. I think my mindset has sort of changed on it. So we'll get into that.
Yeah. So do you want to give our... We could do a little like non-spoiler thing real quick. We didn't really spoil it right now. In the trailer, you see that Woody comes back. Did you leave the theater? How did you leave the theater? How did you feel watching it?
Good. I felt really, really good.
Okay.
I liked it.
You felt good. You liked it. Okay.
Oh, boy. There's a silence there. That silence is telling.
It was so unnecessary. I did not like it.
The creation of the movie was unnecessary.
Everything about the movie was unnecessary.
The movie itself was unnecessary.
I was so emotionally
I'm so
detached.
surprised. Wow.
I was emotionally detached.
You have kids.
Everybody knows in Pixar movies, there's Pixar moments. Everybody knows there's moments when you're sitting there and you're like, oh man, that tear's coming. And you know me, I'm an emotional person.
Yeah.
I'll watch movies where it's like, this doesn't even make sense to cry. And oh man, I feel it. Goosebumps, like emotion. Spider-Man 2, when they lay him down, he's just a kid. That's not sad. But why is a tear coming out? I'm a very emotional person. Toy Story 5, I'm looking around and I'm like, why?
Nothing?
Nothing.
Not a single scene.
Nothing. I have 3 kids. You know I'm an emotional person.
Wow.
Nothing.
Jesse scene?
Okay, now we can get in. We can get into that.
All right.
But I'm just saying, I was emotionally unattached to the movie. I was disconnected, and there's a reason for that. And the reason is because I watched Toy Story. I grew up watching it, and the gang was led by who?
Buzz Lightyear.
No, come
I'm
on.
just kidding. It's Woody.
And I'm starting to feel maybe like
His absence?
maybe I'm some of those older parents, right? Or those older people that are like, that's not basketball or that's not football or oh, y'all don't know about I don't fill in the blank, whatever those old people do.
It's not Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
it's-
the same thing. Not the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's not because we still appreciate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, there's a consistent story with 1 through 6. There's not a 7 through 9 does not have a consistent story. along
Yeah,
with it.
I agree.
Continuity's ruined.
And that's a little similar with Toy Story. That's how I feel.
You really
so
think so?
we're gonna
Okay.
get into that, but that's like our kind of non-spoiler. You'll be able to skip ahead. It'll kind of tell you where. It's gonna be a while though because we're really getting into Toy Story. And by the time this comes out, it's Thursday. Toy Story's already been out like 5 or 6 days, so go watch it. Even if I watched the movie and I didn't like it, I would still encourage to go watch it because I still love cinema and I don't want movies to change and just go straight to streaming and you never engage with anybody else. So go watch the movie, but now we can give our rating of Toy Story 5 and then we'll give some good and some bad. So at this point, spoiler review. Okay, so are you ready for a review of it? Are you ready for your rating? Do you have your rating ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, 8.8.
7.5.
Wow.
I'd say a 7.5. And honestly, I really want to go lower. But there's one moment in there that like kind of
Elevates it up a little bit.
elevates it. And you'll kind of laugh at it because without this moment, I genuinely would have given it like a 6, 6.5.
That's how low you would have gone? Okay.
And I think on Rotten Tomatoes, I actually rated it I was probably one of the lowest ones, but I think I did rate it like a 6.8.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up because I would probably sit here and agree that this movie, as much as I liked it, there has to be a bad something, right? This is probably the worst one of all of them,
Agreed.
but I still really, really like it. And a lot of it, ironically, because you just brought it up, has to do with Jessie. I actually like the fact
don't
that
care.
look, who was the top dog in Toy Story 1? Woody, right? Why was he the top dog? Because he was the favorite toy of who? Andy. So now that you have a little girl, all right, she's growing up. She's gonna be more drawn towards Black Panther. She's gonna be more drawn towards Superman. She's gonna be more drawn towards Darth Vader or something like that. No, because those are masculine men toys. For Bonnie, a female, she's gonna be drawn more towards a female counterpart that she can sort of see herself into that. And that's Jessie. That was always gonna be Jessie. I love that. It makes so much sense to me.
You want to know why I didn't like it? Because I felt like there wasn't really you didn't take the time to establish a deep connection from the audience to Jessie. Part 2, right? Toy Story 2, that was Jessie's moment. She was left behind, right? Everybody feels that. I felt that in Toy Story 2.
I cried Toy Story 2 for sure.
I get it. Yeah, I was a kid. I cried too, right? And I still cry now. I didn't cry on this one. They didn't take... I felt like that chapter, like that was healed. That was healed from her. Like she found her value in the toys in her family, right? And Buzz, because that's been teased along this whole time.
Ever since like Toy Story 2, if I'm not
That's what I
mistaken.
loved.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, that's what I loved. We'll get into it. But I just felt like you didn't establish a deep connection from the audience to Jessie for her to now be the leader of the gang, and we're all like completely engaged in this. I feel strongly now watching it that Toy Story is Woody. and Woody is Toy Story. And I feel Woody away from Toy Story, I can't enjoy it. And even though Woody was in here, it's like Woody is sprinkled in here. But it is a Jessie story, right? Buzz is sprinkled in there, but it is a Jessie story. And I just feel like that I don't like that even the toys were all the other toys were just kind of thrown in the background, right? Like the comedy, the comedy that you get from
Slinky,
the pig,
Mr. Potato Head,
Porky, Forky, and then in Toy Story 4, Key, the two stuffed animal ones. That joke about going to the old lady's house, and you don't remember
with the Key and Peele. Those
I don't know if it was Peele. I think it was Key and Peele, or well, y'all know who I'm talking about. All those guys that all bring in that
give us the key, give us the key.
Yeah, they're not there. You get them a little bit, and then you get this robot, or you get this device, Smarty Pants, and he was like a top 5 thing in this movie.
He was funny.
Yeah, but I just don't like that you throw away every other toy that we know because you're like, no, we're just gonna focus on these 4 or these 5, and then in a way, I feel like this movie you're highlighting, hey, let's bring toys to the forefront, but then you just find a way to balance device and toys.
Brother,
that's kind of what I felt like.
The story is.
I don't think the Toy Story should be.
I don't need Mr. Potato Head and Slinky and Forky and all them to constantly have to have their screen time. I mean, there's plenty of other toys in the sea, and with the story being set up the way that it is in regards to AI, I get what you're saying in regards to the fact. I didn't notice it till now, but yeah, they kind of are in the background the majority of the time. There's a couple of one-liners from Forky, like you're saying that because you're old. Or whatever.
Yeah, he's hilarious. The little time he got, funny.
He really owned it for sure. But I'm like, their story is, we don't have to constantly have them on screen. What you get if you find that suits and people in charge of these movies feel that they have to put these people in there, you get ruined characters.
I'm not saying that
you get Star Wars the sequels.
I'm not saying that they have to be in every scene. But I just don't get why they just have to be in the background and everybody else has to be in the background. And the main characters in this movie are... I understand that it's Jessie's story. I know.
It's time for somebody
They're
else.
never going to have a story because they're a
toys.
background character.
True, for one,
But
yeah.
just have a little bit more because Toy Story, I enjoy Toy Story with all of them together. Toy Story 3 was my favorite. And that is all of them together. It's all about escaping, getting out, finding a home together. It's not just... hey, this is Woody's story only in Toy Story 3 because that's him trying to get back to Andy, learning to let go of Andy and being ready to move on to the next person, Bonnie. But it's still rooted in getting all of them out because he realizes, hey, wherever we go, it doesn't matter as long as we're together. He said that so many times, but like now that's gone. So I don't...
because of Toy Story 4 it's gone?
No. Toy Story 5, I didn't feel the togetherness of all the toys. I felt Jessie and Bullseye. Like, I feel their connection, right? Them staying together, but I don't feel like the whole toys are a family. And that's what I loved growing up watching Toy Story. Like, even the Slinky matters.
Brother, like... it's very similar to saying like Star Wars has to have the Millennium Falcon in order for it to be Star Wars, or Star Wars has to have Sith in order for it to be Star Wars, or it has to have the Jedi Council.
Let's look at box office. It does have to have Sith and Jedi to be a successful Star Wars.
Around it. There's contributing factors around it, but like you don't in regards to Toy Story, you don't have to have Rex in this story. It would feel. It's so funny that you're bringing this up because I truly do believe that had they gone your way and what you just said, and they shoehorn Rex and Slinky and Mr. Potato Head into this story in ways that they didn't need for the movie, then it would feel like, wow, they just have to put them in there. They couldn't just focus on core characters and bring in new characters.
So then why call it...
see that they did that, and I appreciate it.
Why call it Toy Story then? Call it something different. Call it Jessie.
No, it's Toy Story. We get new characters. All right, we get Froggy. We get the Buzz Lightyear. What am I thinking of?
Oh, the devices. Okay.
You get the Frog iPad. All right. You get the 3 new characters. What was the
Smarty Pants?
Smarty Pants.
He was hilarious.
It was good. It was good.
He'll even wipe your. There's okay. That is one thing that I did like about the movie. The adult humor is there. There's so many times even the adults laughed, which I feel like that's always been in Toy Story. But I feel like even more so now, maybe just because I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize it. But like Toy Story 4 and 5 had adult stuff in it. Toy Story 5 definitely has got stuff that make adults laugh. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that aspect of there being adult humor. And the best part of the movie, what would you say is? Maybe something that you watched and you're like, man, that's what I take away. That's the best part of this movie.
I'm not sure. I'm not going to say a scene. I'm not going to say like a specific scene. I think the best part of this movie is the lesson at the very end of it in regards to AI and technology and whatnot. When I initially walked into the movie, I had assumed that they were going to take the stance of, technology completely bad, get rid of all of it, remain in the 90s, all right, just toys and imagination. And trust me, that's not a bad way to go. Okay, but instead, what they chose to do, they recognized that Pandora's box is already open. AI is already all around the world, and up to and including the toys and that are being manufactured. So instead of just destroying it, they coexist with it. There's a
balance.
There's a balance of it. You wouldn't get the ending that we got with Toy Story 5 without the frog iPad. It solved the problem for sure. The lily pad. So it solved the problem for sure. Through Jessie's idea. So good on her for being the leader that she is. But it certainly wouldn't have been possible without the tool of AI for sure. So that's my favorite part of the movies is that lesson that we can take away from that. Look, parents, you're not evil for having your kids have iPads, all right? Now, there's a balance to it all. Obviously, you can get brain rot from that stuff. All right, they're over here coughing on their iPads. I mean, it's shown perfectly with Bonnie the entire time. The moment the thing turns on, she's just a zombie the entire time. Okay, yeah, Dad. Yeah. And that's exactly what you see with kids to these days, 100%. Like to a T. It was perfectly done. But instead of just taking the iPad and just chunking it, instead, we get a nice little balance. Like, I'm still going to enjoy touching grass and being with my friends and having imagination, but I'm also going to be able to utilize technology for what it is.
How old is Bonnie? Like 8, 9? It's implied that she's like 8, 9 years old?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I guess so. I figured maybe a little younger. Maybe that's just her height, though. I mean, she is a little shorter than other kids that she's hanging out with, so maybe she's just a short girl.
I assume she's 8 or 9 years old, but what I'd kind of something that I'm thinking too is you give a device to your child 8 or 9 years old. Why is chat on to begin with? Like, right off rip, why are they able to? Because why are they able to communicate with other kids and people like that?
That's the whole point, is it not? That's exactly what I would allow that to be. I wouldn't want them to be on the internet because the internet is a dark and scary place that 8 and 9-year-olds are not, old enough or mature enough to really be able to navigate by themselves. So parental controls, please be on. But absolutely, being able to talk to your neighbor, yeah, let's do that.
No.
That's the modern day...
Respectfully, that's you not being a parent yet. Because it will change.
All right.
Because I let my son play like little games on the Switch. He might play Crash, right? Or he got Fortnite. And I was a little like, I don't know. But on Fortnite, you can hear other people talk. Mm-hmm. And his is off. But one time he was sitting next to me and I heard him talk. And you know how people talk online sometimes. And I was like...
I've been on Call of Duty once or twice.
We grew up on Modern Warfare. Come on. So I turned it off, and I was like, yeah, no. So, and my son is 9 years old, about to be 9. So the idea of just giving them a device, knowing that they're already able to communicate with all their friends and stuff like that, I feel like that was a big topic of this movie. That was one of the messages there. Like, don't just conform because all the other kids think, oh, you still play with toys? And then she started pretending. I'm 9, And then she started pretending to be someone else she's not. And that's why even Jessie actually said something pretty interesting when she went into the room and she was like, your kid is, what did she say? 9, or your kid is, she looks like she's a teenager based off of the room because she's seen rooms in which kids were growing up in the 90s and the 2000s and you didn't have devices. They actually looked their age. Now you have 10-year-olds trying to sit at the table and talk about grown-up stuff, and you're like, you're 10. Like, you're growing up way too fast. But that's what devices do to kids now. they make them grow up way too fast, and their devices are too integrated. I'm not gonna say the actual name of my daughter's elementary school, but me and Brandon actually had a conversation because they get multiple hours in the class on their iPad because they purchased some
app or whatever.
Yeah, something that they purchased. They spend a lot of money on. The kids go use it to learn. Some
teaching app.
Yeah, and I literally said, well, is there a way my daughter can not be on the iPad? Like, let her learn just, I don't want to say normal, but why did they need a device? And he said, unfortunately, no. And even if you were to say that, I wouldn't let her because she'd fall behind. And I'm like, is there a security guard in the classroom or is there a teacher in the classroom? Like, why do they need an iPad and a $10,000 software that they have to install to teach kids? What is the teacher doing? Is that a smoke break? Is that like, what is that? A restroom break?
This is in no way, shape, or form a critique on teachers. I mean, the teachers are...
some teachers, I will say.
No.
I have to deal with teachers.
Teachers are fantastic. You're very much needed. We love you, all right? But certainly how teaching is being done these days, I actually have had plenty of conversations with teachers these days. In fact, during the finals for basketball, some teachers from Georgia came down to San Antonio, and I was having a whole conversation about AI in use in school, and they're on board with the whole, like, we hate it so much. I mean, this is terrible. So if that's any indicator, indicator of teachers' opinions these days, then across the board, I feel like most teachers are going to be against it. And before you sit here and say that, it's teachers.
It's not all. It's not all. It's not all.
It's
Let
a
me
job.
make it clear. It's not all. No. Let me make it clear. I don't want to sound like I'm a hateful person. It's not all the teachers, of course. You are right. I'm just speaking from experience that what Toy Story likes to show, the integration of devices to children, and what I see for my children. Why does it have to be in the classroom? You get what I'm saying? Like, why does that have to be integrated? But teachers are like, oh, I hate AI because the kids use it to write their essays, or they'll use it to submit tests, or they didn't do their homework. They used AI for that. But there's some districts where teachers use iPads in the classroom, and it's like, well, where's your creativity? You want to talk about kids not having creativity or whatnot because they're not actually thinking. There's so much things wrong with like education. We're not gonna get into that. But what I do like about Toy Story is that it does highlight devices are sometimes they can be good for kids, but I mean, what's so wrong with a kid not having a device till they're 14, 15 and
I can definitely agree with you on that.
Just going to play in your room.
I didn't have a phone until I was a teenager.
We grew up in a different time.
Even then, I shared my phone with my other two brothers. So you could guess how useful it was then. Not very much.
We grew up in a different time. I had to use T9 text only till a certain time, and then my mom took the phone away, and I only used it because I was in middle school in 8th grade. So she had to know whenever sports, she had to know when you're getting out and stuff. So we had to use it. I had the phone the little flip Nokia, and you could turn it this way for no reason. It serves no benefit to turn your phone this way or this way. It's just cool. It's just cool to do it, so I did it. And then I got a Sidekick when I was like 10th grade. So it's like, yeah, but it's not the same. It's a completely different era. We were always outside. We didn't have devices, and now kids have devices, and now they want to stay inside. And now you tell your kids, go play outside, and they're like, with what?
It's hot.
And it's like, dude, that's...
I only prefer the heat from my iPad, not the sun.
So okay? I would have liked for Toy Story to go a direction in which, hey, you're not trying to sound like a hater, but devices, what use are they good for the kids other than let me worsen your attention span? Because, I mean, what does it do? Like, how does it benefit children? I'm sure you might have people that are like, well, studies show that if you show your children this and this, it teaches them better or whatever. But it's like, I'm not the smartest person, right? But there's a lot of smart people around my age that are doing really great things, and devices wasn't a big part. You'd have to wait months for Betsy the cow to come rolling into your classroom in order for you to use those Google Chromebooks. Yeah. And even then, we didn't even...
It was the height of technology back in my day.
Yeah, and it wasn't even... Yeah, dude, you had to wait for that. And now you go into your kids' rooms, and in every single cubby, there's an iPad. And if you don't want them to use the iPad, nope, sorry, because the school already paid for it, and your children would fall behind if they don't use the iPad.
Like I said before, the Pandora's box has already been opened. The conversation is not, should we have it anymore? Should we allow our kids to use it? Because even if your kid's school doesn't use it, another school is, and the other school is, and the other school is, and the other school is. And at the end of the day, everybody's a suit once you get to the top tier of your organization, and the only thing they care about is spreadsheets and numbers on a piece of paper. And like, okay, our numbers are slightly lower than this number. What's the reason I want to be higher than them? It's because AI, or iPads. So let's, put some iPads in our kids' school.
Isn't our country one of like the worst in education?
No, I don't think. No, what?
I think we're one of the bottom in education.
We're not a third world country.
I didn't say we're a third world country.
I didn't say still walking to school.
I did not say we're a third world country, but I think our test scores and our education compared to other countries, I'm pretty sure we're towards the bottom.
I'm actually very positive. I don't know the numbers right now, but I'm very shocked.
Are we nowhere near the bottom?
I'm very positive that by state, there are certain states in a lot of states
worse than
that
the
are
others.
Higher than a lot of other countries.
What is our education?
So we're kind of in the middle. Placing 9th in reading, 16th in science, and 34th in mathematics.
Out of what, like 250 or something like that? I don't know how many countries there are in the world, but
so we're 9th in.
that's like we're pretty much up to the top.
We're 9th in reading.
Yeah.
We're 17 in science, 16 in science, and 34 in math. Aren't we one of the richest countries in the world?
Yes.
Out of 80. So
Out of 80 countries that qualified.
9th in reading, over 80 education systems, 16th out of 80 in science, 28th to 31st. So we're kind of really low in science and mathematics, and then overall educational attainment, we're in 8th place out of 41 countries.
Look,
I mean, we can, as our country.
You can hate on all those statistics, but it's a culture thing across the board.
And
if we were India, and I know this because one of my friends from college is from India. We've had this discussion 100 times, but India focuses a lot more on academia than they do physical fitness and all that stuff. And there's other countries around the world that will focus a little more on physical fitness and stuff like that instead of academia. And we in America just happen to be a nice little blend
in the middle
of both of them. So we have some of the greatest athletes in the world, and we have some of the greatest
smartest minds in the world,
smartest people in the world.
Yeah.
Not of any of those categories, but some of them in both. So for sure,
I just
I'm
feel
happy
that
with
the stature that America is. I mean, I feel like we should be in top in some of these areas, and it doesn't seem like we're anywhere near. And bringing a device into the classroom, this is not really what our podcast is always about, but it's fun, so let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like bringing a device in the classroom is going to make reading better, is going to make science better or math better. What do I know? I'm not one of the smartest people out there. There's a lot of smarter people than me. I just feel like it damages your attention span so much that things got to be colorful, and they got to be something's always happening, or something's got to do this in order for you to keep stay interested in whatever's going on around you. How many times do we love reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Or we love reading Magic Treehouse, or all these cool things where you would go into a treehouse and then you'll end up in Rome one day and you'll end up anywhere. Dude, if I tried reading those books to my kids, they would be so bored. And they're like, it's a creativity thing now with kids. And that's like what Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 really highlighted on, right? Creativity. Mm-hmm. I know it's there in Toy Story 4 and Toy Story 5, but creativity is something that like kids are losing.
Yeah.
You can't tell kids to go play outside because they're like, there's only grass. What do I do? And you're like,
Do you see this stick? See that rock? This is everything to us.
And grown-ups, what does he say? You see a lake and a rope, and that doesn't make you want to go crazy? So anyways, devices are something that's always going to happen. It's going to be integrated whether you want it to or not. So I understand that there is a balance. And Toy Story did highlight a healthy balance at the end of too much of anything is bad. Like Brandon always says.
Too much
from
good
a
stuff is bad
nutrition
stuff.
Standpoint, Brandon's, if y'all know him, physical therapist, right? Occupational therapist. What are you trying to
Physical.
do? Doctor.
Whatever.
Dr. Purdue. But
Doctor,
anytime
Mr. Professor.
Dr. Mr. Professor Patrick to you. There's so many times where I've told him, hey, is it bad to eat too much avocado? Because I love avocado. And he's like, too much of anything is bad. So, hey, too much of...
Water is bad. Too much of oxygen is bad. Things that you need to live, too much of anything is bad.
So that's a good thing with Toy Story, right? Too much of toys, hey, maybe you fall behind, I guess, all the other kids having devices. Too much devices, you lose creativity with toys. So there's a healthy balance. at the end, it did seem like there was a healthy balance.
That's a good message, and I love that. It's my favorite part of the movie is the message at the end.
My favorite part of the movie was the Army of Buzzes. And I think that's what a Buzz Lightyear movie should have looked like right there. The whole idea of, let me show you the Lightyear movie. This is the movie Andy saw. And it's like, that movie was whack. But then you watch Toy Story 5 and you see a whole army of Buzzes. That's what Buzz Lightyear should have been like. A Buzz leading that army as toys, not as humans, as toys going through the world, because then that also helps, like, makes kids imagine, oh, my toys are real when they play with them. You know what I mean? So that Buzz Lightyear movie that completely fell flat on its face, this little scenes of getting all these army of Buzzes, that's Buzz Lightyear. That's that. And that was the best part of Toy Story 5, I thought.
It really recaptured the whole original Buzz Lightyear played by Tim Allen. I guess all of it was played by Tim Allen, right? But from like 1, 2, and 3, I recaptured that same imagination for me in this movie for sure.
And
the whole and the reoccurring joke of and by the way, Zurg is your father. No. Every single one of them.
Hey, but some of the different upgrades in Buzz were cool. They're able to use a hotspot. Then they could fly. Now there's no falling with style. They genuinely fly.
Funny that you bring that up because that is brings me to my next point about this movie. I think this is one of the most important Toy Story movies, at least in regards to the Pixar Theory. One of the most important because this shows, including after watching, like Hoppers and this coming up afterwards, it shows the integration of AI and the fact that they're all connected. The fact that a old-timey device can connect to
the network,
frog.
to send it to the lily pad.
To lily pad, and that same device can connect to the Buzz Lightyears. I mean, like it's shown in such a positive light because they're utilizing that technology for the betterment and whatnot of
their situation.
humanity. But you could see very clearly how that can easily turn into Otto from WALL-E. How AI can be the bad guy. So they could turn evil and perfectly played.
Did you see any? I was looking for it. I also had all 3 kids, right? So we were also there with my 9-month-old.
Oh, boy, you were there with Everly?
But hey, it's a family movie. It's 2 p.m. Like it's come on. It's not Avengers. It's not Dune. If you come into Dune 3 with your child, I'm going outside. I'm telling somebody. I'm not just any child, but like if you come in there less than 1-year-old, I'm complaining. I'm 100% complaining. I'm sorry. I went to go watch the Backrooms movie. As soon as I sat down, legit, there was a kid next to me that came to sit down next to me. He was like 4 years old. First of all, what are you taking your child in the movie at like 4 or 5 years old? Promise you, he had to be 4 or 5. At Backrooms. And he's there looking at stuff. And I said, not even doing this. And I got up, talked to the person. I was like, look, I'm not a Karen, right? I'm not a Karen. Never been that dude. I'm not going to complain, but is there any way I can move my seat? I just can't see. I left my glasses. And they were like, oh, well, you could sit right here. And I was like, okay, cool. Not sitting next to
a 4-year-old.
A 4-year-old for a movie like Backrooms. But Toy Story 5, there was multiple babies in there. There's kids. That's a family-oriented movie. If you go over there as an adult and you're like, there's too many kids talking, and you're like...
At a kid's movie?
This is not for them. This is for us.
We grew up with this. Really? Oh, I hate and become that person.
Yeah, no. So I wasn't going to be that person. But yeah, I took all of them and I was trying to pay attention a couple times. Right, I had to give my daughter some of her snacks, or I had to give the kids some of the snacks that I snuck in, or drink my Red Bull, right? Because they sell Red Bulls now at movies. So I'm watching it, and I was trying to see Pizza Planet. I was trying to see maybe. Did you see Pizza Planet? Yep. The Pizza Planet truck?
Yep.
Where?
All the Buzzes and the gang were on little horses or whatever. So they just left the hill and they're running on next to the road. And then he's like, car! And they all stop over.
It was
and
a
then
Pizza
that
Planet
Pizza
car.
Planet truck.
Oh, Everly, I was with my daughter. Dang.
Gotta love her.
Okay, so there, I'm definitely gonna rewatch it again when the kids are all asleep because I already did my due diligence and I already did what Dad was supposed to do. So I'll rewatch it again, try to see if there's any Easter eggs. I didn't know Pizza Planet truck was in there, and I was actively looking for it, but I also had to be Dad. Mm-hmm. So that's cool, dude. I didn't know. I didn't know
I love
that
all
was
the
in
Easter
there.
eggs. This also adds to another plot was a plot hole in, I believe, the first Toy Story. That being like, if Buzz didn't think he was a toy, why would he be okay with being played with by Andy, and why would he freeze up whenever Andy comes in the room? It's always been a big plot hole for a lot of fans. This movie hyper focuses on that, not hyper focuses, but it has a pass away line where after the initial buzzes, they finally come to the mainland and they get on top of the crane. They find Star Command and they come down and they see that a human being is coming, and they all have a natural instinct of freezing up and falling over.
And he's like, I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, and then it's like, what was that? So that's awesome. It's in their DNA. That's always what I always thought. I mean, this isn't like something that's like really new to people who like Toy Story. But this just solidified it in canon that all these toys have that natural instinct to be toys whenever they're around humans.
When a human's gonna come around, whether they know it or not, they act. They just happens.
It doesn't necessarily mean that they have no control over it, because obviously within Toy Story 1, we do see them messing with Sid, being like, the toys are coming to get you and all that stuff. So obviously they can have control over it, but that instinct, that initial instinct kick, it's just there.
Did you see in an interview Tim Allen talked about he was working on his voice because now that he's older, his voice sounds different than what it was before. So he had to actually work on his voice to make it very similar to what he sounded like before. Obviously, he's older. When you get older, your voice changes. So he was working on that to make it sound very similar.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that he was.
I didn't see that. It's weird because I didn't think that happened after you hit puberty. Obviously, before puberty and after puberty, there's a humongous change.
No, your voice definitely changes. I don't think my grandpa, the way he sounds right now, is what he sounded like in his 20s. I mean, my grandpa. Do you think he sounded the same?
No. He definitely, yeah, okay. I see what you mean.
So it definitely changes. So he worked on it. Did you feel Jessie's voice sounded exactly the same? I definitely think she sounded a lot older. Maybe if that's what you're implying, that the toys, they're older, their voice changes it. But then that would go against what Tim Allen said in an interview about trying not to sound like that.
I don't think toys really get older. I mean, I know that's a common joke with this movie in regards to Woody, having that dad bod and the bald spot. But that's not. I didn't take. That's obviously it's a joke for being older, but it's just a joke. Like the story behind it. If you want to ruin the fun of it all, I mean, he's outside all the time, probably without his hat. The sun's hitting the top of his head. He's not balding.
Well, even if you wear a hat, doesn't it say that your hair thins? If you wear a hat, you're gonna bald faster.
And but that's just the sun hitting his head and it deteriorating right there. Him being like fatter, I don't know what that was. I mean, I don't know how I would
that was funny.
Justify that.
That was funny
because I don't think toys gain weight. But I mean, it doesn't ruin anything for me. I don't think. But I'm just trying to say, like, I don't think the toys themselves actually grow older. I mean, if you want to sit here and say that Jessie's voice sounds like older than it was 20 years ago, I mean, maybe, but it didn't pull me out of the movie whatsoever. It's fun that Tim Allen did that for us, so thank you, Tim Allen. But it
didn't take it away from the movie
ruin
at all
anything
anyway.
for anybody. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know I'd asked you before, but the best part of the movie to me was the buzzes, the Army of Buzz Lightyears, and without them, the movie definitely would have been in the 6s for me rather than in the 7s. I think the best part was the buzz, and you even told me before going to watch it that there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. I didn't stay for a post-credit scene. I stayed for the mid-credit scene. Do you think that they're implying that there's a movie, or was it just a funny little joke?
It's just you have to explain where you talking about the mid-credit scene?
Yes, with buzzes.
With the mid-credit scene and the buzzes coming down to the playground, that's just they had to explain where they go. I mean, because the last thing that we see is them dropping off Jessie and Bullseye at the house, and then you see them fly away, and that's pretty much it. So like, where are you guys going? It makes sense that they would now see themselves like, okay, so we are toys and we have a purpose, and our purpose is to give joy to these children and to help them grow up. So I'm going to complete this mission from Star Command, and I'm going to find a kid, and I'm going to be that for them. For sure. I did find it funny. It's funny that you say that the buzz scene was your favorite scene, because when I was watching the movie, I'm trying to take my inner child with me when I watch these things, and not just see it as a grumpy old man.
You have it on you 24/7. You're a kid 24/7.
I am.
You don't have to take it. It's you.
But with that scene in particular, it was really cool. But when they're sitting there above the tunnel, I was
yeah.
thinking to myself, like, the car behind them can't, like, what in the world is going on there?
Oh, yeah.
They're just seeing it.
Yeah.
And they're just driving past it.
Well, but that was actually, that's probably like my second favorite thing in this movie. I love, and it was teased the entire time of Jessie and Buzz for years. And we finally got Buzz and Jessie to kiss for the first time.
You're stuck with me, deputy.
And I loved it. I'm not gonna go into crazy why I loved it, but I love that they too finally saw that, and my kids were like all laughing and they were happy about it. So I'm glad that they did that instead of doing what Disney was trying to do movies back, and started realizing, hey, parents are going to take their kids to watch this, so let's make sure we I don't want to get too into it, but it was good. It was good. I liked it. My kids enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I didn't have any gripes about which direction they chose to do with that. So I finally love that they got their moment. It was a long time coming.
Did you think that? So I'm trying to wrap my head around this, because as we learned with Forky and Toy Story 4, you have to be loved in order to a toy has to be loved and whatnot in order to come to life. You see that with Forky. It explains why the toys in Toy Story 2, the Buzz Lightyears from Toy Story 2, were alive, because in that toy store, because I mean, certainly every kid that goes in there is going to pick up a toy and be like, oh, I love it, I want it so much, and mom's going to be like, no, you can't get it.
Is that what it implied? I don't think so.
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
get that feeling. Forky was not supposed to be a toy to begin with. It was a fork. It was things in the trash that she put together, and then it became intended to be a toy. Then he became a toy. But I mean, weren't there toys already alive in the store prior to kids even touching them? They were, right?
Prior to toys even touching them?
No. Prior to children going inside the store and grabbing a toy, toys were already alive in the barn in Toy Story 2. So
but that's what I'm saying. It's a toy store. Kids went in the toy store at some point prior to
I'm
that
just saying,
movie,
I don't think they have to be
picked up the
loved.
toy and really wanted it and loved it, and then wasn't able to take it home, so now it's there.
So why is Duke Kaboom still alive? Because he wasn't loved. It was him being thrown away because he couldn't do. It's a commercial. It isn't real.
He was loved
No, but the
prior
whole
to
thing
being
is
thrown away.
No, but wasn't the whole thing them being upset because he can't do what the commercial? If I get a toy and it doesn't do something that I thought it would do, I'm
Where
gonna
did
throw it
they
away.
get the toy? Where did they get Boom? As
From
a
a
Christmas present, right? Or a birthday present or something like that, right?
I don't remember.
Well, they got it from their parents, and certainly when they pick it up, they're like, oh my goodness, I love it.
Yes, Duke
thank you
Kaboom.
so much, Mom. And then they're going to try it, and they're like, oh, this sucks, throw it away. But that initial love was enough to spark it.
I don't think so.
To be
I even
alive.
think prior
It's
to a kid touching the toy in a store, I think it's because it's a toy and it's in the Toy Story universe, Pixar universe, it's already alive, whether a kid loves it or not. I don't think it has.
I'm so confused on, we watched the same movie with Toy
Yeah,
Story
we do.
4. The lesson is pretty much in your face. Like, everybody was surprised, like, is that a fork talking? I mean, like, that's a fork, and it's talking.
Because it wasn't intended to be a toy. It's things that you use to eat. It's utensils. It's not a toy. Anything that's created to be a toy for the purpose of a child to play with it and consume it, it's alive. It's a toy because that's what it is in Toy Story. They're toys. But Forky is not a toy by any means. It was trash. And then because she turned it in, maybe if she got a regular fork and maybe said, oh, this is my fork, this is Forky and I love him, it wouldn't have been a toy already. She had to give it arms, she had to give it legs for it to, all right, now it kind of looks like
using
it could
imagination for sure.
be a toy. Yeah, I just don't think that a kid needs to love it already to be a toy. I don't think so.
Then you explain to me how toys are able to exist in the Pixar universe.
Well, my only thing was to say that when they were in the store, there were toys alive, and I don't think kids were jumping on the third shelf to go grab a toy, love it for a second, put it back, and oh, now it's alive because.
You're assuming they have to touch it. I don't think they have to touch it.
So you just look at a toy, man. I love that toy.
I guarantee you that's what
No,
it is. You
I
don't
don't
have to
think so.
touch it. There's no. I mean.
They can leave in the comments what they think, but I don't think that's how it works. I think because it's intended to be a toy and it's in the Toy Story universe, it's alive. It's a toy. It's alive. That's what I think. How many toys did we see in this universe that were dead?
What constitutes a toy?
Something that's meant to be a toy. What do you mean?
By who?
Oh my goodness.
Who like a suit in somewhere? Like we're gonna make a
you
Santa
created-
Claus tank, and that's gonna be a toy for.
I mean,
the
yeah,
kids.
sure.
So when does it come alive? When they put the last bolt inside there? When they
Yep.
put the last screw?
Yep.
Like
and when it's going out for
done.
distribution, and then it gets to a toy store.
Now it's alive.
Now
once
it's alive.
once it's at a toy store, that's when it's alive. Not when it's in the box in the truck.
How many
going to the toy store? It's at the
that's
toy
a good
store.
question.
The distribution
It could
factory.
even be alive then. The last
factory?
boat in there, it could be alive at that point. It could be. You think it? Yeah. I'm laughing because our producers are even looking. Y'all think a kid has to love it in order for it to become alive?
I don't think there should be a definition on this. There's rocks that are toys. There's a thing called a pet rock, and it went
I mean-
viral and it sold millions.
Yes,
It was just rock.
he's mentioning pet rocks. Yes, that's fair. We're only talking about it in the purpose of Toy Story. I understand anything could be a toy.
If it helps, this is not just me saying it for the concept of the movie. I mean, it fits within the Pixar theory in general that the most powerful power in all of Pixar
Is love.
You see that with Soul. You see that with
Encanto.
Toy Story. You see that with Encanto. You
was
see
so
that
lame.
with what's the movie with when he goes to the land of the dead? It's Coco. You see that with Coco.
Come on,
all
dude.
right. Love is the most powerful tool, and it connects all of it together. So why would it be absent inside
Okay,
of
so
Toy
in
Story?
Toy
Love
Sto-
is certainly the most
Okay,
important.
so in Toy Story, a toy becomes alive when it is loved. Okay. Well,
Which means that as soon as any kid sees it, and
you loved every toy you saw.
I'm not saying I loved every. I'm not. We don't live in the Pixar theory, but I mean in the Pixar universe. But in the Pixar universe, as soon as a kid sees a toy and says, "Mom, I want that," how many times did that happen when we were kids? My sister, grew up, and my sister used to do that all the time. I guarantee you, right then and there, alive. Mom, that please. I want it so much. I love it. It's my favorite.
No, so how were the buzzes alive? And
That's sort of what brought this whole thing up because they're on an
so
island.
in
Who's
the
loving
movie-
them on an
in the-
island?
In the movie, it's
Scene
implied
one.
that a cargo ship was going through ocean and a Connex fell off, landed on an island, and those were the Army of Buzzes. They were not played by a child yet, unless you're gonna say they were loved on the line when they were being made. But
You know what's-
they were already looking for Star Command and fully alive, and no child loved it. I think
know.
once you are, you know what, that makes sense. Once the last bolt is put in, now you are a live toy.
That's I in order to really force it into the Pixar theory, which is what we nerds do. I feel like they get an exemption because I've been thinking about it all the way up until right now.
Why do they
right?
get an exemption?
They get an exemption because their technology. So that poop toy.
Yeah.
What was it called again?
Yeah, the Smarty Pants.
Smarty Pants is alive not because it's a toy that's loved by a child,
But because it's tech.
but because it's tech. All right. Frog. I keep saying Froggy. I'm thinking
Lily-
Foggy from
Lily
Daredevil, but Lilypad. Once Lilypad is alive because it's tech, not because it's like, oh, I love it so much. Now I'm alive or anything like that. I think it genuinely is because
So
if you're
devices-
technology, you're alive.
Devices come to you with the charge already,
Mm-hmm.
right? So is that lily pad already alive before she gets to
I think so.
Bonnie?
And what does that mean? Because a toy is going to drop dead and pretend to be a toy when a kid comes around. That's just ingrained in them. So why would a tech do that? Why are we seeing that with Buzz, and why are we seeing that with Lilypad and whatnot? Is it because do they fall underneath the whole love thing? In which case, why are the Buzz Lightyears alive during scene 1?
if no child is interacting
Or
with
are
them.
they just tech trying to hide the fact that they're alive?
I don't know.
Which would, of course, lead towards Otto from Wall-E.
So it's implied that every device, even in the Toy Story universe, every device is
AI.
alive
AI. Or what's the company? Do we find the company?
by and
By
large.
and large, any
We gotta get it. We gotta
It's an interesting.
got to do
little,
some diving and some research when it comes to that. It's implied that devices are alive. It's easy to grasp your mind around that with Lily because there's eyes, you could see a face, so it looks like the device is alive.
True.
What about if it's an iPad? Is it
without
just-
that little safety.
without the lily pad around
the
it,
case.
is that still alive? Is the little thing on an iPad, the little button down here, is that an eye or you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it like eyes appear on a device and that's the mount?
That's what we see with Otto, right? I mean, it's just
It's a
literally an
wheel.
eye and then a wheel.
In a wheel.
And okay, so
So
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like it's easier to grasp with the lily pad because it's
got a
you can
face.
see a face, right? It's kids. So, but that does that mean every other device? Well, adults in there, they love this device. Obviously, it's not on. At what point?
It's got to be a kid.
So
Within the Pixar theory, it has to be a
Okay,
kid.
so at what point when you grow up does the when you stop loving your toy, you think that
Maybe it doesn't have to be a kid. Maybe I'm incorrect on that because with Coco, the memory and the love of a
keeps it going?
ancestor is what keeps it keeps.
So
them
then the
going.
love that was there from the beginning that
And
you
we
play with
see-
your toy as a kid makes it alive forever, even when you pass it off to the next one.
up until you die, right? Up until you stop loving them. So, like,
Wait.
let's say Andy owned Woody, and Andy did not give Woody to Bonnie,
Bonnie.
right? And so he's an old man keeping it for himself inside of his apartment or whatever,
His
and then
house.
he dies.
He probably has a house.
and just sort of sitting there, and then maybe just Woody, instead of being given
To the next
a
one.
kid, is just thrown away and whatnot. Then Woody would essentially die, which is the fear that we see within the entirety of
What if you wanted
the
Woody
story
buried with
the
him?
penguin. What?
What if you wanted Woody buried with him?
That is so messed up. But he would die then too.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think so.
There's nobody there to love him. He's dead.
I don't think so.
Look, what was the fear with the penguin in Toy Story?
Squeaky.
Squeaky. What is that? Toy Story
Is
1
he-
or 2?
No, it's Toy Story
2, I think.
2.
I think it's Toy Story 2.
No, it's Toy Story 1.
Is one?
When he loses his voice.
His voice box, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
being forgotten.
Yeah, he's being forgotten. Like,
I
there's a
don't want to
fear.
play with you anymore.
That's with Woody. and of course, that leads through that as well. I mean, like, obviously, you think of Squeaky, and you can think of Woody's fear, his nightmare of being thrown away. What is the fear of that? It's the fear of dying.
Okay, so every kid story, there's a dark side to it. This is the dark side. Once Andy dies, Woody dies.
No, because
because now Bonnie loves him.
Because now Bonnie loves him. Yes. So then, if Bonnie were to grow up and give
And
him to
die.
whatever,
Now Woody's dead.
and then of course you see Jessie. That it goes square into Toy Story 5. You see Jessie's Annie. Is that her
her on her
owner's name? I think it's Annie.
Mm.
But either way, her
forgot.
original owner.
I didn't care.
She left and whatnot. She has a child.
And she named her after me.
Yeah, it's a sad moment, man. Very
That's
sad
what
moment.
got you to cry?
That was the tear up scene for me. It was like, oh.
I thought that wound was healed already.
I had a T-Rex that I really loved named Spike, and
So now your son's name
my
is
son,
Spike.
it's Spike now.
I thought that wound was healed, and then you just brought it back to the surface. I feel like, hey, you know who was ready to be the forefront? Buzz.
No, don't need.
Why? He's
Like
been there
I-
since day one.
Like I said before, as a girl, are you going to have your favorite toy be Buzz Lightyear, a man? Probably not. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I mean, probably not. You're more likely going to be like Jessie. I love Jessie.
Okay.
What? I mean, again, it can happen, but look at all the girls in our life. Areli, Ariana,
Sissy,
Sissy,
well,
whatever.
Avies. Yeah, all
Avies,
of them.
and eventually Everly. I mean, like, what toy are they going to gravitate more towards? It's going to be a feminine toy. Just the way it goes.
Yeah.
So, of course, as we see in Toy Story 1, the top dog and the leader of the toys is going to be the favorite toy of said child.
I don't know, dude.
Who's the favorite toy of Bonnie? Jessie. So I'm okay with Jessie being the top dog and the leader, for sure. Makes sense.
I mean, I guess it does. That's why they kept putting a skirt on Buzz and Combat Carl, right? Combat Carl.
Yeah.
A skirt was on Combat Carl, and then their wedding, Buzz was the bride, and Jessie was the groom.
Again, that's exactly what would happen with the little girl with the great imagination.
Yeah, but Jessie would be the bride, and Buzz would be the groom.
Who cares? This is a girl. This is an 8-year-old little girl.
Yes, you're right. And obviously, the kids don't think anything of it. The kids just enjoy
What is a
it
fork
and
gonna
like
marry a
it.
knife? I mean,
No, I mean, yeah, that's,
I name you husband and knife. That's clever. That's
that is
cute.
clever, and I liked it. That was funny. Don't get me wrong. There was parts in there that was
Men
funny.
wear suits, not kilts.
Oh no, you're talking. Oh, I don't know if you're talking about Grinch. There's moments that I liked it. There's just moments that I didn't really care for, and I thought the movie was unnecessary. So
To circle back to what I was saying before, like way back before, but at first I had watched Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, and I thought to myself, okay, that's a perfect ending. Toy Story 4 comes out, and I wanted to hate it, but I didn't hate it, all right, because of Forky, all right? He ended up being a really, really fun little character, and I ended up liking Bonnie. She wasn't a terrible, new Andy and all that
she's a great
stuff.
owner.
And then when I heard about Toy Story 5, once again, I'm like, why do you keep making it enough? And again, I did like it. And now my mind is sort of switched a little bit. So let's 1, 2, and 3, a great trilogy, period. End of story, done. All right. Now we got 4, 5, and 6, which is the toss off of the torch to
Bonnie.
to new people. Where it's now Bonnie's story. Maybe let's get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th Toy Story. I wouldn't be opposed to that one coming out in the next 5 or 6 years or whatever. Seeing a trailer for that, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Last one of her trilogy. How do you expect the Toy Story story to continue on to generations?
I don't. I wanted to stop. That's the point.
I don't think it should stop. Do I want Star Wars to stop just because Luke Skywalker redeemed his father?
Yeah, but it's completely different at that point. No. It's completely different.
It doesn't have to be that
No,
way.
it's completely different.
It can go on to whole generations.
No, because they should be done with the Skywalker saga.
Does Lord of the Rings have to be done?
It's not done. They're still coming out.
We can do Okay, we're not talking.
No,
about
but
the
what
TV
I'm
show.
saying
The
with
TV show is
no,
terrible,
the Hunt for Gollum, it's coming back out. Gandalf is coming back, but Star Wars is completely different because you want the Skywalker saga to be done. Now I want my kids to enjoy something else that's not the Skywalker saga. It could be the same thing with Toy Story. You can have this similar idea to toys being alive, something completely different. It doesn't have to be Woody. It doesn't have to be Buzz. Make it something completely different that they can enjoy, and it is different. It doesn't have to be the same thing. So it's completely different with Star Wars.
All right, fine. Maybe that was a bad example, but I'm just trying to say that the story of Toy Story doesn't have to stop with Andy right there and then, or even with this. Let's assume they did a 6th movie. It doesn't have to stop right there. Do I want Ghostface to be done just because Sydney or Nev Campbell in general says I'm okay? Now I genuinely am done with Scream.
Scream needs to be done.
You're a queen, all right?
Who?
No, Nev Campbell, you're a queen. No shade at you whatsoever, but eventually you're going to get old. All right, eventually you're going to be 80, 90 years old. So at that point, should Scream just stop right there and then?
Yes,
Forever?
come up with something new.
No, there doesn't have to be, because Ghostface can live on with other serial killers, with other victims.
You know, it's
and
okay
whatnot.
to let go and close the chapter. I feel like that's what the studios need to do, because it's like, hey, at this point, use your creativity, come up with something different, move forward with that. Little off topic. You know what? I kind of got a Ghostface vibe from. It's not the same thing. I'm not saying it's as good. I'm just saying you might hate it. Whatever. Hard Eyes. I got a very similar vibe from Scream. That was just more of a comedy aspect with killing. You didn't know who was under the mask. It was a whodunit. There's more than one killer. That was Hard Eyes. It's not Ghostface. It's not Scream, but it's something little close where you can get little feelings that you did with Scream that you got on Hard Eyes. I'm not saying it's as good. Right, they're gonna clip it, and I'm gonna say Hard Eyes is the best thing.
Hard Eyes is 100% better than Scream.
Yeah. But it could be something completely different. Use your creativity. Move on from Toy Story. Hey, if you want to do the same universe where toys are alive, do something completely different now. It doesn't always have to be.
You're saying a new family and new toys.
Well, something completely different. Use your creativity.
The story of Toy Story should not end. The story, I'm saying with the example of Ghostface, the story of somebody with a knife stalking their prey, utilizing movie references in order to really mess with their victims and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's iconic to Ghostface. Don't let the story of Ghostface end. It can survive
A mass killer.
Nev Campbell. Of course, there was in our real world, there was a little bit of a mess up in regards to Scream 1, 2, and 3 and Scream 5, 6, and 7 that it's kind of irreparable with that story now. Sucks. But Toy Story didn't have to go through all that stuff. Everybody has a good relationship with one another behind the scenes, so they can continue the story of Toy Story and pass the torch, which is what a lot of these studios are trying to do. It's what only Cobra Kai has successfully done out of all of them. It's where you respect the old...
What do you mean? Jurassic World was perfect.
It's where you respect the original cast and the original crew and the original story and hand it off to a new, interesting story. They can do that. They
And
don't
guess
have
what
to.
they do?
What I think what you're insinuating is that they have to stop the movie and now within
No,
the
but they
same
closed the
universe, they
book.
have a new story. And I don't think that has to happen. You can continue the story
They
off to them.
closed the book, which at the end of Cobra Kai, they closed the book. Everybody went their separate ways. Everybody moved on. You closed the chapter. I think they should have closed Toy Story a long time ago. But hey, you know what? Fine. If you're here at Toy Story 5, you're here at Toy Story 5. Close it there. The ending and the message was good at the end, right? Use your creativity to make friends. You don't have to use a device to make friends. Done. But now you want a Toy Story 6, which I'm sure other people are going to want a Toy Story 6. I'm going to go watch it because it's Toy Story. But just use some creativity. Don't always go with the known and existing IPs. Come up with something completely different. Hey, we love Obsession. We love Backrooms. Those are, you love, what's the other one?
Iron Lung.
Iron Lung.
Yeah, I definitely want to
You
do
love
Iron
that
Lung.
one. Those are all something new that hasn't been existing. Take a shot in the dark. Take a chance. And hey, now you know what? Now there's so much stuff that are going to come out from Obsession with One Wish Willows. Now there's going to be a whole thing of Backrooms. Iron Lung, that we're not going to get any more of that. That was good. But that's the point. There's so much more to go when you're willing to take a chance on yourself. So try something different. Don't be done with Toy Story. Move on to something completely different that now these kids can love, because Toy Story 1 for us didn't come from something else. You just created it and we loved it. So now create something else.
It's just,
and those kids will love
it's
it.
too good of a, just like Ghostface. I mean, it's too good of a pedestal.
That's why you ruin stuff.
It's too good of a pedestal to just throw away.
Okay, now
Like,
in 40 years
that's a
when they
good
remake
foundation.
Anakin Skywalker
That's
and the
a
whole
fan-
Skywalker
What?
saga, you're going to be mad.
Say again?
When in 40 years when they remake Star Wars and they do a whole nother
They don't have to do
Skywalker
that.
saga, why? It's love.
They don't have to do that.
No,
They
that's
can
the same
utilize the
thing.
same universe and the same foundation of Star Wars and pass it on
Then
to
use the
new
same
people.
thing with Toy Story. Use that foundation of Pixar, but stop it with that Toy
Doesn't
Story.
have to stop. You don't have to close the book. The foundation is fantastic. I can't think of a better way to teach kids to balance out their creativity with toys
And a
and their
device.
uses of devices
But that's only
than
one
Toy
movie.
Story. I can't think of another concept that would be better
That's
than the
not the
foundation
concept
we
of Toy
already
Story.
have.
That's not the concept of Toy Story. That was the concept of Toy Story 5. 1 through 4, 80% of your entire Toy Story message has always been about toys and creativity. The last 20% is about balancing device and creativity. But that's only one movie. The sole message of Toy Story is be a kid, love your toys, play with your toys. That's what 1 through 4 was. So you can't say, hey, Toy Story is about balancing devices. And Toy Story 5 was. But it's time to move on. Every book, every story must come to an end. Right? The greatest story, greatest book ever is the Bible, and it ended at Revelation. Obviously, we believe that there's still a whole lot more, but the book ends. So end it at some point. AOT, one of the greatest stories ever told. Are you one of those people that are like, oh, I need another AOT, do another spinoff? No. The girl found the tree at the end. Oh my God, are we getting a... No. It's picture perfect ending. It was perfect. Toy Story 3 was a picture perfect ending. They should have just let it be done there, and you still would have appreciated it. Even if you showed kids years from now, hey, if you want to remaster the animation, fine. But kids would still love Toy Story. Now it's I don't like it. I don't like it, and I'm not for it anymore. So we're probably hitting about 2 hours at this point, so it's okay. But all in all, we love the Toy Story, the Pixar.
All in all? By and large, all in all?
Yeah. But we love Toy Story. We love Pixar. We love all this nerd stuff. But I think every good story must come to an end, and I think that's what they should have done with Toy Story at Toy Story 3. So I'm pretty sure we can agree that Toy Story 5 is if you rank them, Toy Story 5 is at the bottom.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. You would probably say it.
I'd say
but I
it's
would
a
not.
7.5, but if the Buzzes, the Army of Buzzes weren't there, it would have been a 6.8. Well, real quick, right before we go out, because we're about to close out, I feel like that pasture, right? That's like, get 5 minutes. I'm going to have y'all out 30 minutes later.
Oh, jeez.
What is your...
Somebody in the background like, you said that 30 minutes ago.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. What's the best Toy Story movie?
Best Toy Story movie. My favorite?
No. What's the best?
The best?
No, well, you can't do favorites.
But because I'm not going to utilize paint, so I'm gonna sit here and say Toy Story 1.
Oh my God, Brandon.
Toy Story 1.
Okay, Toy
Best
Story
one.
1, then?
Toy Story 3.
Okay, and then?
Toy Story 2.
Mm-hmm.
Toy Story 4,
Okay.
and Toy Story 5.
Okay, we are so close. There's just one thing that switches.
What's that?
Toy Story 3 is the best. And then Toy Story 1, then Toy Story 2, then Toy Story 4, and then Toy Story 5. It's just literally one thing. But I don't hate it. You know, I just like the whole escape from Alcatraz. I just think that with the kids movie was perfect. How did you escape? He's like, what, escape? And then I got to go back and get my boys. So I loved it. So anyways, if you haven't seen Toy Story, definitely go watch it. We spoiled the hell out of this movie for y'all. Go watch it. Even though, regardless of how I'm ever going to feel about a movie, go watch it. Enjoy it. Spend some time with your family going to see it. Take the kids to watch it. It's not one of those movies where, oh, the kids are going to ruin it. It's meant for kids. But there's still a lot of stuff for adults to enjoy from it. So.
And in the comments, let us know, when do you think a toy comes alive in the Pixar theory? Is it when a kid loves them, or somebody loves them, or is it when
the last bolt.
the last screw, the last everything is applied to said toy?
Yeah. I don't have anything else. By the time we go back on our next episode, we would have seen Supergirl. So we'll talk about that, Woman of Tomorrow, off of the comic. So if you know the comic. But
I'm sure we'll talk about Spider-Man before it actually comes out next month.
We'll talk more on Brand New Day because there's a lot of stuff that came out, a lot of speculation, a lot of theories. Let's even do something where we maybe have a bunch of theories that are coming on, and we see whether we think that's a good theory, a bad theory.
Right.
maybe
We'll
something like that.
incorporate our knowledge of Punisher and our knowledge of Daredevil, all of it, all the way
Street
up
level.
to the final season and whatnot.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm excited. So, all right, that's the future.
Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it, bro, and we'll see y'all next time.